This is Kevin, Gamertag Magil, and I'm bringing you part one of my Deathrow Let's Play. So, if you've never heard of Deathrow, which seems likely, it's one of the original Xbox games. And I ended up getting it because when I bought my Xbox, they were out of Halo, so I ended up getting this and Brute Force instead. And I am very happy I ended up with this game because it is awesome. So I'm starting a career with my team because this is kind of a sports game, sort of. If it was insane. It's basically like a combination of basketball and MMA, which sounds amazing, I hope, to you, because it is. There's a lot of stuff you have to unlock in this game. As you can see, like I don't know if I showed all the teams, but there's like 4 choices to start with, but there's like 16 teams eventually once you unlock everything, so it gets to a pretty good selection of stuff. I chose the Protectors. They're pretty much more of an all-around team, and they're a little bit tougher and capable of dealing out physical damage, which is a lot more useful at the start than just having your guys being good at the sports part of the game. And before you play all these games, like, it gives you this little overview of what their team is, why they are, how they were created and stuff, and what they're good at, which is always kind of interesting to read. So the team I am is like some cop team from the Future City, and they're pretty solid all around. They've got really good teamwork, which is important. And they're, just because they're an all-around team, I prefer them. So I'm playing against the Blitzers, who are supposed to be like the ultimate team created by BTV, or the owners of BTV, who are the parent company that air the game. And in the beginning it says that they're all jacked up on steroids and all other kind of drugs to be even better at the game. So here you see my starting lineup, and you start with just 4 guys. As you win games, more people will want to be on your team, so you can get more guys, which allows you to, in between rounds, switch out instead of healing people, which can be useful if you're just to save money. And here I'm off to a bad start. But there's the fun part. So there's like 3 different ways to attack people. Holding down B kicks, holding down A punches, and then if you hold A and B, it does the grapple like I just did, where I clothesline the motherfucker. And it's different depending on definitely which team, and I think certain characters have different ones as well. There, I think I hit my own teammate with that. And different arenas look different, and they have different places where those power-ups show up. Like, so I'm playing at the Blitzers one. They've got the power-ups over to the sides and then behind both the goals. And it just kind of switches, and all of the arenas look different. Although, they got the similar idea of there's the 2 hoops at each end. And the way they're hooked up changes, which matters, because as you can see, the disc doesn't really reset after a goal. It just goes wherever it goes after it goes through, which I know might not be in this game, but in like the later games, the other team I'm playing against do like throw it back and forth through the hoop and score a lot, and then I do it to them later. There they go. They just did that, where they threw it through one side, caught it on the other, and threw it again. And it is super frustrating when that's going on. And there they keep kind of doing what's a super effective tactic, which is to have somebody tackle the guy who's playing like as the goalie and then shoot. And that almost always works. There I do my favorite grapple, which is like the monkey flip, just because of how painful it looks like it should be. Now the game isn't perfect, as a lot of the sports games aren't the first time they go through, but the biggest problem with them being that there I just made an awful pass and it cost me. But there's no real control over your teammates, and they always want to pass the disc to whichever character you're controlling, which can be really frustrating because sometimes I just want to beat people up because I'm not playing the game well. It's just getting frustrating. That's all I want to do. So I'll be like down at the goal, grabbing the goalie to tackle him, so that like my teammate with the disc close by can shoot, and then they just don't. And then I end up with the disc and I throw it away to the far side of the arena, and then they usually score because that's usually the way it goes. And, you know, there's just kind of strategy stuff that could be a little more useful later, or with just some refinements to the gameplay. I'd really like to be able to call for the disc before they throw it to me, instead of them just throwing it to me all the time. And it's probably just my imagination, but it always seems like they're a little more accurate with their attacks than I am. So I think in this game, I realized that I'm not outscoring these guys right away, because they're playing as a better team, and I am just trying to attack people. And I remember that just beating the shit out of everybody on the enemy team until they can barely move is a completely legitimate strategy in this game. I'm pretty sure in the third round, that's when I really put that into effect. I think every once in a while you'll notice the disc goes all green, and that's charging it up. I don't know if I do that, but you hold down the shoot button, which is B, and then if somebody jumps up to block it, they get rocked, which is hilarious. And that's another effective way to score. You just hold that down, it'll hit the goalie, and then when he falls down, hopefully the disc rebounds back to you and you can grab it and throw it in pretty easily. Nope, so here I've already instigated the policy, beat the shit out of everybody on the enemy team, because they are better at playing Deathrow than I am. Which is why I didn't want to pick the convicts, because that's pretty much all they're good at, is beating people up and taking a beating, but they're really shitty at playing the actual game. So like, you'll pass to people, and a lot of times they'll just not actually catch it, and they won't be able to shoot as well. But with the protectors, they're a little bit better at actually playing the game as well. So you can see in the stats, I injured 10 of the people on their team, but didn't score many goals. But just like when I'm injuring them, it's going to cost them money. You didn't see here, but like after the first round, I spent 1,000 to heal a guy. So they've got to heal them up, or they're just going to be slow. There he actually, usually at the beginning, if you do that slide tackle, get the disc, jump and shoot, it's fairly effective at actually scoring. Here I'm just walking around stomping that guy. And once they're injured, you can just leave them on the ground, because they are not getting back up for a while. But playing this game again, I was like, man, a new iteration of this would be an awesome Xbox Live arcade game to get. Tons of fun. This is always a crazy attack where you flip them upside down and then kick them in the chest. And there I was just in a bad angle to shoot that disc because I was busy punching and kicking people. One-timer. It wasn't that good of a one-timer. It's really weird to control the camera because I'm used to doing that with the right joystick, but that's just not how it works in this game. You just kind of move the left one around a little bit more, and eventually it'll aim it the way you want to do. This is one of those things where getting used to how this game works as opposed to a lot of the others. It's a little bit tricky, especially after not having played it in a while. I think I played, like, before this game, the tutorial, and then one other game, just to kind of get a feel for it again. But here you can see me just running around, slide tackling, and then stomping them to death until I get that injury. So here I lit up the disc with a death ball. It makes it a little less accurate when you're shooting for a goal, but if you're up close, you're just going to rock the goalie, and it's totally worth doing. Here I should just stop stomping this guy because I can't do anything more to him when he's injured. But it just felt like the thing to do. There my teammate could have scored it a little bit faster, but you know, whatever. He did get 2 goals, so I'll let it slide. And I get that right down there. I'm still losing, but I've beaten the other guys up so bad that it's just going to be rough for them to get back into the game. Like, what, 13 injuries and 3 KOs, and you get a KO when you drop all of their health down to 0 of these little circles, and then injure them again. So it's pretty solid. I think they must have healed him up because it looks like nobody's going really slow. But once all their bars are down, they just start limping around, and it makes it really easy to go to town on them and just score a ton when they can't do anything. So here I'm just hanging out in the goal, and this game is a lot of fun when you've got like even just 2 people playing is useful, because then you can have the one guy who's just sitting there destroying the goalie and whoever comes over there while the other guy scores. Here I make a bad pass that gets intercepted. But I do get to beat up some people, so it's pretty much a win-win. Here I prove that it is indeed stomping time on those guys. And then every once in a while, like, I actually want the guy to pass the ball to me and he doesn't. So see, there's that one guy who's limping all over the field. He's going to be slow the rest of the game, and it means he can't jump either. And every once in a while I'll do those rolls, which is the evasion thing, which is more designed for escaping attacks from the bad guys instead of, you know, getting somewhere, which is what I usually use it for. You can see after I've started beating them up a lot, they become a little more aggressive as well, which I think is a nice thing. So really your style of play can dictate to certain teams what they do, because certain teams are always going to play their strong suits. So like the convicts are going to be assholes and beat the crap out of your guys no matter what, because that's, you know, the only thing they're really good at. There that guy heals himself with that power up. Dick, we had him limping and everything. But really, like 3/4 of their team are completely useless right now, and my team is just scoring on them at will, which always feels kind of cheap, but it's fun. I mean, the best way to win is when you KO all 4 members of their team, and the game just ends. And it can end whenever. As soon as you've KO'd all 4 of them, it's over. So at the end, this game ends up being 18-12, just because I pummel them. So I've got 2 KOs and 15 injuries this round. And it can earn a lot of money because I was scoring all those goals. And the money is important for buying the new members on your team. There'll be offers to buy stuff. I think one of the later games I'll get the offer to buy steroids and inject into one of my dudes, which I do. Or they're like experimental drugs and they'll be free. So here I am looking at the mail I get. So there's the guy who's interested in joining my team, but I don't have enough money for him because of this next message, which is one of my players was found banging the owner's daughter. So I had to pay a bunch of money to get rid of that. Here I get a bet. So I'm going to bet I will double my money with a win in the next game, and I'll bring that next game to you guys fairly soon, hopefully.